The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. Today is, what's the date today, right? You don't know?
24th of January.
You find January moving faster than usual.
The first half of January was speeding. And then apparently the second half decided to take back the time that the first half make up now.
Really?
I find the last 10 days have been terribly slow.
I honestly find the month has been flying.
I don't know. But I mean, yeah, when you really look at how January's go, this is the least January-ish January in a while.
So that means now it's about a couple minutes after 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the true nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, the Tainos and the Kalinagos, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and as Kevin Hart would say, we the same with the chest that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony P, where the P this week stands for
Panorama. Panorama, boy.
I don't want to hear about Panorama. I don't want to hear about Panorama.
You mean generally? Because the panorama I was talking about was the fact that National Schools Panorama.
No, you know why I don't want to hear about Panorama?
Why? What?
Because WAC covered Panorama this weekend and Kenny did not call me.
So you mad because out of 724 events in the last 2 years, the man didn't call you for one. You see all of that?
That's the first event for 2023 and he didn't call now.
I realize what's going on. You're having Kenny withdraw. You're missing him. Ladies and gentlemen, look at happen.
Wow.
Look at happen. Yeah.
That's what you take from that?
That's what you project from it. You curse on the man because he didn't call you for one event. The first time the man ain't call you, you having a full connection. Cool.
That's what you take from that?
Anyway.
You know, I just want to say congratulations to the Naprima combined schools and winning the Panorama. And I must also say congratulations to all the other bands which would have put on an exceptional show on Sunday at the Queen's Park Savannah. All right?
I mean, the pan in good hands. Can't complain.
It's been in good hands.
Mm-hmm. Kudos to WAC as well for that coverage, because you know what, you hear a lot more people talking about the youth pan this weekend than we would generally have heard. So I've taken that too.
As we say in that, Ricardo, I wanted to put this out there one time. To all the cultural connoisseurs that only appear between December the 26th and Ash Wednesday, I would beg that you stop.
The PPPs?
Yes, the people who suffer from the PPP. That's the part-time patriotic paradigm. Stop it. Because if you want to have a conversation about culture, you should at least know who the chairman of NCC is.
Who's the chairman of NCC?
Really?
No, I'm legitimately asking.
We partner who the singer is Tankoo.
Cool.
Right. If you want to have a conversation about Panorama, you should at least know that Panorama is put on by Trinidad and not NCC.
Okay. All right. So you're talking about the PPPP, the people with the PPP. who want to nitpick without any actual information.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because usually I do not listen to radio. I'm not going to lie, I don't.
Yeah, that's like going back to work when you finish work.
Yeah, I don't listen to the radio much, but yesterday morning on my commute to work, in all the traffic that the licensing officers and conduct caused, I happened to turn in on the radio card, then update my Soca folder on the flash drive, so I had no choice but to listen to radio. So normally I would listen to Foxy in the morning if I happened to tune into the radio. But I still am going to listen to other frequencies. Let's hear what the climate is, right? And I stuck on one frequency in particular where they were speaking about the lack of aftercare for school panorama. And when I say aftercare, they are talking about the fact that after the panorama was done, what were the children to do? And then the person went on to say, well, nice, NCC organized panorama, so they should have seen about it. And I'm sitting in this traffic like, NCC don't really organize panorama, it's pantry people.
Well, I don't really have the context of the conversation, so I don't want to contribute controversially. But
so
what in terms of when the kids actually finish play and waiting for the other bands to perform, or at the end of the what exactly do you mean in terms of aftercare?
And that's the thing, they didn't really go into detail, just talk vaguely about aftercare. And I gathered from the conversation, because I would have tuned in late obviously, but they were talking about after the entire panorama is done, where were the children to go?
Home?
And in a situation like that, thank you, home. So I didn't understand what the angle they were going at, or if they were trying to say that after school panorama, where do these children now go to play pan? The junior bands that would have competed in the evening.
All right.
Because I answered the questions for one time. Because if after primary school, you're looking for an expand site to go and play with, your secondary school may have a band.
Or your community might have one.
Or your community, you can have a junior band, because I know Funplay has a junior band as well. Big up Funplay.
Hey, big up Jelani, my godson, because he actually in a conundrum where his community has a pan side, but his school is also very strongly associated with a pan side as well. So it's not like there aren't options for secondary school level, or as you call it, junior pan, to take place.
So that's the thing. When we want to have these kind of conversations and talk about young people need to get more involved in the culture and the planning of cultural events, take note that Trinidad and Tobago has a very young core.
All right. I see there was one of the youngest arrangers, can't call the name offhand, but a guy, I think he's 18 or 19 years old arranging.
Okay.
Or was he 21? And in my mind, once you're not 25, you're a teenager. So all I'm saying is that as a young guy, I will look for that information, and hopefully in the editing I'll be able to at least post a snapshot of the article or something.
25 is a generation ago for you. So.
Yeah. I own it. I am not taking 35 to 40, or 30 to 40. I'm in 40 plus. That's what I take in right now. It is what it is.
Hey, yeah, but guys, we need to honestly educate ourselves about some of the institutions which are in place before we look to cast blame and aspersions about the lack of involvement.
I mean, that is a fact. I cannot. There's nothing I could actually add to that. We complain without having any information about the thing that we're complaining about.
Yeah. With that being said, let's take a moment and head across to one of my favorite acronyms whenever we have an episode of the Living Room. It's WTF. Sometimes it's that WTF some people be talking about on the radio. We actually ask it with a segment called What the Franz.
There is a bothersomely large segment of social media that seems entirely concerned with telling men just how hard we have it. They talk about how nobody cares about men's feelings, and how society has spent so long empowering women and girls that they've left men by the wayside. that there's not even room in society anymore for real men. Oh, cry me a river, fellas. Yes, we as men have our own unique problems and issues that should be addressed and dealt with. But encouraging men to feel sorry for themselves is not how that is done. Encouraging self-pity is the opposite of empowerment. If you really want to encourage and empower men, then add something constructive to the conversation. Because this pour me one posturing is not it. Speak power, not pity. Honestly, what the Franz?
Thank you very much, Franz, for that insightful video and input. Here now, Franz, 2 things really quickly. 1, you roof for your car clean. Well done. I need to do that. 2, you are correct. Instead of just, as we spoke of before, casting the aspersions, give positive feedback, constructive criticism. Because if you just, was the word he used word was real, something real old school.
With the put me one mentality.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean here about that?
Yeah, you come hard. Yeah. You come hard with it.
If we honestly continue to put forward a pull me one mentality, then we will not do better as a society.
Mm-hmm. Correct is right.
Well, one thing we always say in the living room is we talk about accountability and transparency. Come on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, oh God, we are about the empowerment, not the enabling. You could empathize with somebody without enabling them.
Enabling.
I like that. I mean, oh God, Franz again shooting from the hip and hitting the bullseye still. And Aaron, I think we should make a couple of appearances in studio so we could answer some calls and get some of the commentary that our lovely followers and listeners put into the chat box while the episode is going on.
I think the 7th of February we could make a stop in studio.
All right.
We ain't too sure about the Valentine's Day yet because we don't know what Ricardo would have planned.
Aaron, apparently we have to be concerned about what you have us planning for you as well. So we're going ahead with Aaron 8-6 date. We're going ahead with it. We looking for that date for the date.
Yeah, we're looking for a date for Valentine's Day apparently.
But I want to ask this, and you know me, I don't put water in my mouth to ask no question. Aaron, what you're really looking for with this date? You're looking for a date for the 14th and then you're not calling on the 15th? Or you're looking for company or romance, Aaron?
This is like a real thing that happened right now?
This is a real question I'm asking you. Are you looking for company or romance?
I'm actually looking, I think after all the troubles, trials and tribulations which I would have gone through previously, I think I'm actually ready to make an attempt at having a stable dating with somebody to lead to a relationship.
So having procured enough dust, you're ready to do like silt. You're ready to do like silt and settle down. That's what's going on here.
If you want to put it like that, then yeah. We could have find our next analogy, but
listen here, and the only way to clear muddy water is to let it settle, If you're at a stage where you're ready to settle, I'm not gonna interfere with that. I'll do my best to assist. So the reason I'm asking is because you know what has happened for Carnival, right? The zombie does kick in, people just want to lime and knock about and meet people in party and take a little two wine on a stranger and get a number and hook up and all these nice, lovely Carnival relationships. And then after Valentine's and by the time Easter roll around, things sour or done, or the excitement of the season has worn off. And then you have 1,700 babies being born in September and October. Right. November and December. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm not looking to head down that road. I'm actually looking for a stable relationship because I think it's time. I'm not getting any younger and Pampers not getting any cheaper. To actually look at settling down into something.
So you're not looking for a tryst. You're looking for somebody to walk the walk with.
Yeah.
All right. You let me MC you with it?
How you could anyway.
Oh, you was gonna ask me how could MC and best man at the same time? Listen, I will find a way to make it happen.
As you talk about the carnival romances and stuff like that, I think we should take a moment and head across to our resident superstar, Dana T, with our segment called Please and Tankoo.
Hello friends, my name is Dana Tankoo and today I'm going to be sharing a thought or two with you. It's been 3 years that we waiting and we anticipating, and now Carnival 2023 is in full swing. And if you love a good fete like me, you know what I mean when I say there are few things more beautiful than the social interactions in a good Trini fete, especially a breakfast juve party. Not only do we enjoy the performances and the DJs and all of the great music, but we enjoy the company of absolute fete strangers that we've never seen before and we most likely will never see again. Yet still, we have the grandest time for 4 hours being soaked in water and paint with the sun rising, sharing food, sharing drinks. It's crazy and it's quite beautiful and amazing. And I really love that about us. As Trinbagonian people, we have a collective mechanism of escaping reality, escaping any kind of troubles, and we enjoy it together. However, some people actually need to escape us escaping our troubles. While we enjoy these well put together fetes in these great locations, we also tend to forget that the neighboring communities and the environments of these locations are oftentimes negatively affected by our revelry. However, I'm not here to put a damper on our feting. I am here to remind you that Trinidad and Tobago have been pioneers in the arts, in music, in culture, and also energy, and I am pretty sure we have the technical capabilities to develop mechanisms to protect our environments, to protect our communities while still having a great time. I'm positive that the residents of Vistabella and Marabella and the animals in and around the Chaguaramas area have been waiting for us to create a barrier between them and us having a great time, namely in the aspect of noise pollution. So just as we come together to have a great time, let's also develop some ways to create a beautiful environment for those that may not necessarily want to join us in our fetting and partying. Also, pick up the garbage when you finish fete, please, and Tankoo.
Yeah, I think the perfect thing to sum up what Dina said, it comes from a song coming back in 2016 called Wifey Material from 5-Star Akil. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I never see her before in my life, but we hug up together like husband and wife. I never knew you before now, but we up in a corner and hug up so tight. I whining on you, you whining on me, pushing back so sweet. And it continues, and the chorus is, gimme, 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 gimme. Yeah, the constant repetition of that. Yo, you are wife material. Because I think we all have those stories of that woman or man that you would have met on the road, and you shared a wine or 15 or 35 over the 2-day period. Probably upwards of 50, depending on the fit good.
I hear you. I will reserve comment.
But also, I must say, big respect to now Kalitra and Mas, the 27-time Band of the Year winners in San Fernando. As it stands now, I'm one of the road DJs there.
Boom. All right. I know I had a message Cali and see if I could get a little pass and sit on the truck. Dina hit a couple points as well though. Before we move back into the culture conversation, she hit a couple points well in terms of the impacts of events on the environment. Now, yes, we've seen that a lot of these venues have staff, or the event promoter might hire staff for the cleanup. But is also a sad indicator to see how much litter is really left after, let's say, an event that held in a more public space or even in a private space, but the road to and from, because your vendor is not going to be responsible for cleaning up all the walkway to the car park and on the main road on the way out and way in, etc. Right? So we really had to take a little more personal responsibility.
I want to add to that. Not this weekend, the weekend before, the Sunday night, there was a car show on the entrance road to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And on driving out of Brian Lara this Sunday night, I was looking at the amount of refuse on the side of the road that they didn't even seek to dispose of it correctly. That meaning the patrons who are at the car show.
Yeah.
And then the Monday when I was going back into Brian Lara to drop off some documents, the garbage was still there. So the promoters did not hire a cleanup crew.
Yeah, but here the catch, if you hire a cleanup crew, the cleanup crew responsible for the road outside the event?
No, the event was on the road.
It was on the road?
Yeah.
So this is the type of thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We will post all the videos and share all the status about how Japan will clean up after themselves. And you telling me you're gonna lime in your car or outside the car as the case may be, and you wouldn't walk with a little garbage bag, man?
Why doing that for, right?
A little garbage bag, sir?
And CPAP go pick it up. When I go to wash my car once every 4 months, the people just be so vexed because of the amount of water bottles on the ground at my backseat.
No, that's a topic for another conversation, Aaron. Why you don't have a refillable bottle? Yeah. Yes, Aaron. Mr. Do use styrofoam, but bottle water. Why you don't have a refillable bottle, Aaron? One like this, like my avocado bottle. You see what it says? Avocado don't give up. Yeah, why you don't have a refillable bottle, Aaron? But we talking about people and the rubbish. I just saying, accountability. Let me take a sip here and mind my business.
Like what Patrice said. Hey, as you say what Patrice said earlier, the tune thus far that has been mashing up all the events is that Bungee Garden big hard feta.
Yeah, the one that you read the lyrics for last week. Nearly turned off the song.
So eloquently. But this weekend, I would have attended 3 events this weekend.
I say 3,
Yeah, 3. Experience, Gateway to the World, and Palmy's People all inclusive.
All right. Any commentary?
I'm not gonna say big up the promoters of Palmy's People. It was a first-time event held in the community that is Palmy's. Right. The food win. I went there for my belly. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
First time in my life I ever ate kuti.
Serious?
Yeah. And it wasn't peppery as I thought it would be. So that was good.
First time I ate kuti was in Point, in a curry. Long time ago. This had to be like 30 years ago.
Wow.
I think it was the last time too. I don't really fancy while meeting him.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of wild meat. I'm not.
Yeah.
So big up Palmy's People and the promoters of that event. Gateway to the World, excellent event as well. The food, top of the line. I realize how to talk about the food.
I hear it, I hear it.
But that's what they go to all inclusives for the food.
All right.
Right.
Apparently, from what I hear about Experience had a food court that was bigger than most fetes.
Yeah, I think if I count correctly, I think Experience had 24 food vendors in the court.
Wow.
Big up Potbelly.
Oh. Yes, I really see Potbelly had a tent.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Congrats. Terrell. Big up you. But Experience as an event, how was it? Because I know it's touted as one of the biggest events in South of late.
It was good. It was a good event. It was well put together. That leads to a whole lot of conversation that I'm actually kind of afraid of having because of the possible ramifications of it. But I will say that there's the police and the fire. The Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association was petitioning for there to be some kind of regulation with the costing for police and fire for events, and I do support that. So I do hope that some resolution comes out of that.
Yeah. Again, I will say it. I really no big party man again, but what I have noticed from, let's say, cursory analysis is that one of the largest, if not the single largest cost outside of high-end Double M would be...
Who is not performing until Carnival Friday.
Right? Would be that police and fire bill. Right? When we have an event where 25 and 30 and 40% of your cost is for security, and well, not even security, but for police, which you have to have in the event, right? When you do that, you drive up ticket prices. When you drive up ticket prices, you get lower turnout. When you get lower turnout, you will end up with less events. You end up with less events, you'll get less people hiring security.
And we all know about the economics when it comes to Carnival, thanks to that lovely article which I would have written last year, as well as a lovely post which I saw on Facebook by, I think it was Carlos.
Candice Catalina.
Santana. Yeah. Right. There's a whole economic world that is Carnival and events, and we need to appreciate it and understand that I just call a random price here. The $800 you might pay to go on to all inclusive, do just 90 promoter pockets.
No. It don't work like that. Not when maybe. Well, I don't think people understand. When you pay $400 to go a Fete and still have to buy drinks, it's because I'm not even exaggerating here. I think it's probably $120 or $130 out of that 400 going to paying for police.
No. Gosh, you ready to make me do that maths now, right?
Aaron, give me just a wild percentage. You've been in enough events that you don't have to do no complicated maths. But I put that.
If you're paying $400 for a ticket and the event is pushed to have, let's say, 8,000 people, at least 20% of that ticket money goes towards police and fire.
All right. So at least 20%.
Yeah.
Right. So when I make a suggestion that it could be 30%, which is what 120 or 130 out of 400 going to be Aaron, it falls within the range of what it is talking about.
I'd say that kind of high.
Well, 30%?
Yeah, 30% is kind of high, honestly.
All right then.
But again, it will scale down or scale up depending on the amount of patrons at the event. Huh?
What I'm saying is that we don't even know what this thing more complicated than Duckworth Lewis. Let me put it like that.
Why you have to bring that into this conversation, seeing that West Indies get bowled out for 70 yesterday from Rwanda?
Serious? Look how I am completely oblivious to that.
It's a good thing because watch man, I said I was giving up toxic relationships for 2023 and I'm still in this relationship with West Indies cricket.
So now you're in the market for a cricket team too?
Yes. No, I'm sticking with my cricket team.
And all good to see we could kill two birds with one stone and get you a cricketer. Would you date a cricketer? That's not a bad question. Would you date a cricketer?
I don't think so.
Why? Too much travel? She'd be away from home too much? You don't want nobody who's stronger than you? It's only bat and ball. Bat and ball. Yeah. You're looking for that smoke.
You're looking for that, yeah. But no, honestly, that is a very serious thing and it really needs regulating. And in addition to that, what also needs regulating is the fact that Carnival should not end at the woman fancy of police officers.
At the event?
No, Carnival, yes. The parade I'm talking about now. Not because our officers say, nah, very, it had too much people on the road, like end this now. No. If Carnival parade is supposed to end at 11 p.m., barring any extraordinary circumstances.
But what is extraordinary? What is that extraordinary circumstance?
It should have a list of things that could be deemed an extraordinary circumstance.
All right. So in other words, what you're saying is that police should wait for something to happen to say wrap it up.
No, I'm not saying wait for something to happen.
But then what would be our extraordinary event if it actually happened?
So let's say, for example, the parade is passing on the coffee and bam, there's a God forbid there was a murder 20 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
That could be an extraordinary event.
Yeah, but what if it's just an assault?
One isolated assault?
Yeah.
That was easily contained?
No, you're adding caveats. But where's the line? Which is why you generally leave it up to the officers on site, up to their judgment.
But some of these officers lack discretion.
You know, some of the everything lack discretion.
Because I saw an instance on Saturday morning where at an event, the police, as they usually do, they form a line and
the sneak, yeah.
Yeah, right? And a gentleman did not see them coming.
Mm-hmm.
And the police bounced into him and he unfortunately spilled his drink. And the cocktail that gentleman received for that. And that's what I'm saying, the discretion.
I actually, in the event that I went to the weekend before, I actually saw when the snake, as I just call it, the line of police cutting through the crowd. You're talking about the close the party, the sweep.
Close the party line, the sweep.
Yeah. Now I ain't talking about the sweep, I'm talking about the snake cutting through the party. Right? So you're walking amongst patrons who paying attention to the stage or the friends, etc. Men jumping up, men taking a little wine, men hugging up the partner and thing. A man didn't notice the snake coming through, and there was a particularly burly officer at the front of the line. So my partner, any jump up, didn't see the officer, and end up with a little shoulder check. And the way the officer started to ring up and screw up, like he looked as if he was trying to initiate a confrontation. Because we coming through, all the other move, not realizing that police presence in an event is not the focal point. You are an accessory. You are a feature of the event. The police presence is supposed to be a feature of the event. We're not supposed to be afraid of the police passing in an event that we pay money to come to and feel secure because police there.
So just now, let me ask that question here. You know how if you match a policeman foot, he vex?
If the police match your foot.
I'm not going to say if he match my foot and I have some real fresh sneakers.
Yeah, but he vex because you should have moved. Your foot should not be there.
I don't like that.
There's a young man I want to ask him about it, because I know who the guy is. And I want to ask him, hey, when that particular little accident happened, he just shups and he turn and continue. But you could see the disappointment in his face. That is like, this is why people use these less than flattering terms to describe officers now. Because you go here in a party and you're cutting through the crowd. What you expect people supposed to succumb to your impending presence? So
you're supposed to smell the police coming
and scamper. And stop whine and it's like you're in primary school now. So you have to put your shirt in your pants and stand up, put your hand on the side until the finish pass. So there's not all officers, I have no problem with police, no problem with it whatsoever. But I have a problem with people who are problems. That's my problem. If you're a good teacher, I rate you. You're a bad teacher, I have a problem.
I have a problem with I'm on the police bill for events. That's the problem I have.
Well, let me put it this way. I remember what those things were like, and I have no desire to get back in that game again. But you'll see.
They get back worse.
Next year, when we just talk about how many parties a night and how many parties a weekend there are, when that talk change, you'll realize people willing to sit down at the table and discuss a more reasonable and a rational billing process.
Yeah, I know the TTP had a press conference yesterday addressing that conversation, and I do hope that they are able to bring forth some solution to that problem.
And there's no reason for people to be spending that much money on some of these events. It is absurd. I understand extra duty and thing,
No, but you know, it's that thing. For some events, the police bill is in excess of $50,000.
I've heard police bills considerably higher than that.
I don't want to say figures because
I know. You're in a more sensitive position than I am.
Right, so that's it. Some bills are upwards of $50,000.
Right.
And then on top of that $50,000 bill, you still have to go and hire private security.
Private security.
Because the police not securing your Fete.
The police work in that instance is not to pat you down when you're coming in and run metal detector and to check tickets and to patrol car park and that kind of thing. That is not what you pay them for. That is not what you pay them for. So you still have to pay for security.
Yeah, it's really a tough one. It's a tough one, but it's something that needs to be normalized.
I'm not saying cut it out, I just saying
normalized.
Regulate the thing. That is all.
As you say, regulate the thing. I want to take a moment and put a shameless plug in tonight's show. I want to say a special good night going out to my artist, Joshua Regalo.
Yeah.
He's having the Panman concert on the 6th of February at the Naparima Bowl. And I'm going to give out any further information than that.
Right.
If you feel so inclined, it was an excellent show last year. I was there, and I think I'm going to be there again this year. God's willing.
Yeah, well. My birthday's not until April, so I ain't getting no envelope with cash in it. So I don't know how things looking for the rest of the season, but definitely endorse Joshua Regalo as an artist, as a performer, as a steward of the culture. The man is doing some brilliant things, and he's still such an approachable and amicable young man. I'm excited for him. I'm proud of him. Remember when we interviewed the man, it was 2 years ago. He was in a very different stage in his career. Right,
he was in the embryonic stages then.
Yeah. So it's good to see this kind of progress and to see that he's elevated the way that young people view Pan now. Is almost as if not that Pan didn't have a say before, but now it's reestablishing an identity to a generation that it was neither here nor there before, because they will go to an event that is centered around Pan, not Pan as an add-on
accessory, right? So I glad to see it, and I'm proud of him. I know you have a couple events coming up here on. Anything you need? You may hold a crate or a CD case or anything for me? No, I actually think what we could do is feature Joshua's song right now with Tree Canal. It's called Warzone. It was dropped on Sunday.
Oh, well, let me get into that. And we know Joshua not gonna complain about copyright if we played it.
He better not. tell all it. I have faith in that young fella and as an artist, you know.
You bad.
And also, stay tuned, you know, you never know, she might jump out with a little thing again, you never know.
It's a little thing again, like a DJ or an 868 plate. Because culture is
How
your
you
code,
going?
right?
How you going to do a DJ era 868 plate on pan?
Get ping, 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 ping. Ping, 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 ping. Ping, 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 ping. Ping, 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 ping. Ping, 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 ping.
DK, I know you're listening. Could you come and translate that and put that on our score, please, so we could know what notes that is, and we would never get any panelists to play that them notes in that order. Anyhow, you know, but really and truly, guys, we really do suffer from a part-time patriotic paradigm in Trinidad and Tobago, and we really need to address it. I know it is not a quick fix, huh? It's not a quick fix at all.
Hey, Aaron, what kind of media personalities are we without acknowledging the election of our representative to the highest office in the country, right?
I have not been looking at news for the past 2 weeks. I've been very preoccupied.
So you don't know we have a president-elect?
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, is Miss Christine Kangaloo.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there was an election several days ago. There were 3 ballots rejected. I think 22 for Mr. Khan and I think 44 for Miss Kangaloo.
But let me ask a question here. And I'm not asking this for I'm totally ignorant to the fact. What is the role of the president in Trinidad and Tobago?
There was actually a very interesting article on it, and it made me change my whole perspective, because I was one of those people who was saying that all our presidents do is disappear. But then when you really do look at the offices that they are responsible for appointing and that type of thing, it's not just a figurehead role. They are supposed to be a bipartisan entity.
So it's not just the Queen of England.
No. Right? Okay. They're actually responsible for a number of appointments, and for, let's put it this way, things like a state of emergency and that type of thing, you need an individual who is going to sign off on it.
So she is the as of midnight tonight lady.
She would be the person who authorizes decisions that the parliament might make that have national consequences in terms of certain appointments, restriction of movement,
as of midnight tonight,
declarations, etc. It is not an empty seat.
As of midnight tonight.
What I would like is that they have more to say when we need to hear them. And I'm expecting it to jump out every week and update us so that we don't forget who you are. But what I'm saying is,
no, that's it. You know what I would also like? That whoever the president is would go and let them in parliament know to put the country first and forget ketchup and mustard.
Why don't run by? Why don't go up for something?
The only race I'm running right now is the race to lose more weight.
Congratulations, by the way. I hear people passing your straight in party and thing now.
Nah, I think it was the jacket I was wearing in the hot sun as opposed to Hey, somebody woke up to me Saturday morning and I was like, you not sweating in that jacket? I was like, yeah, but fashion will kill now.
Yeah, I happy for yes. I emceed that wedding and I had on a compression t-shirt underneath because it was the only thing that would have facilitated the amount of sweat I had to sweat and still allow my fabrics to dry without me becoming uncomfortably warm and sticky. You know how it does get me?
You wore sleeves to that wedding, right?
I roll up my shirt. I roll up the sleeves. I did, but I wore a tie though. I wore a tie.
Well done.
I had on a bow tie.
At least you're learning something.
I get in there. Right. Hey, big up Mr. Jumani Cox on his interview, I believe, on Tobago News with the exiting president of the country. Yeah, just saying, it's good. It was good to see him. It was even wearing a full suit and thing, jacket and tie, and he's a master of eloquence and delivery.
Yeah.
So, great job. Was very, very proud of him. It's very good to see. I hope to mimic his professionalism as I continue developing in my craft.
Really quickly, guys, as we gonna start wrapping up today's show, right? I wanna ask the listeners of WAC 90.1 FM, as well as those who watch after when we upload on DJ Aaron 868 on YouTube, to remember that we need to be careful and we need to be mindful in communication. Not everyone is at the same mental place that you may be, right? And with that being said, I myself sometimes fall, as much as I say I don't get angry and I don't get upset, I myself sometimes fall victim to letting my emotions get the better of me and do have outbursts, right?
I concur. I completely support you, and I'm also very intrigued as to where this conversation came from.
No, the reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes you have a conversation and you may blow up as a person, or you may let the steam of another conversation get the better of you in that one. And your communication on the points you are making is totally lost because of the method of delivery.
The fervor of your delivery will diminish the position.
Yeah. Right? So I'm
you
just saying
you cut up somebody the other day.
What?
And these days you apologizing for cussing up somebody the other day?
No. I didn't curse anyone.
You cuffed on somebody? I hope not,
What?
You're in somebody mash your shoes? Don't tell me you wanna do. Nah, if somebody mash the boots, that is a hard luck for them because them boots tough. What I'm saying is, but Aaron, I hear the principle behind what it is you're saying, I want the story.
No, there's no story behind it, honestly. It's just something that I observed over this weekend. Because in a high-stress environment of planning an event, I noticed some tempers were lost.
Okay.
And the messages which were trying to be construed in that conversation were misconstrued because of the tone and delivery of the message.
All right.
So I'm just letting persons know that during this time where tensions may run high, right? Just be mindful of the way in which you communicate.
Yeah.
And this goes from the top down as well as the bottom up. Because if I could sit and have a conversation with the senior superintendent of police in San Fernando, and he could explain to me why something was changed as to what was originally agreed, despite the high tension environment, you should be able to properly communicate with your husband or your wife why you would be upset if they squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom as opposed to from the middle like they were accustomed doing.
Right. So what you're saying is process the emotions you feel about a situation adequately, that you don't transfer them into an unrelated situation and compromise a relationship.
Correct, that's right.
Nice, man. I'm taking that. Look at you, all holistic and well-being and mindful.
I try sometimes.
Not bad,
because
bad.
Because remember, as I've been saying, fitness is not just physical. Fitness is mental, emotional, spiritual, financial. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial. That's it? That's 5.
I should have more.
I'll come up with a nice little acronym first.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out.
Congratulations to Jason and Ayana Greaves. Well, I can't say Ayana Greaves again. Jason and Ayana Gunnis. Congratulations.
Mr. and Mrs. Jason Gunnis.
Yeah. All right, congratulations. Happy belated birthday, rather, to Adrian Palmer, our resident physio. We had to bring him in to talk about how to prepare our bodies for what you're going to put them through over the next couple of weeks, so that we don't have to see a physiotherapist afterwards.
We need our masseuse on the show because after walking like 11 kilometers on Saturday morning, between the hours of 2 and 10, my calves still hurting me.
Yeah.
But I also think that's a reflection of the fact that I start doing calf raises more frequently now.
Yeah, I hear you, big man. I hear you. But you can't really walk 11 kilometers and drink and jump
Water.
and
Water.
wine and not sleep and don't expect that there would be consequences.
Yeah, but you see that lack of sleep thing, guys, make sure and get proper rest. And when I say rest and sleep are two different things, huh?
Something else I want to acknowledge. Oh, I had to say it. Trinidad and Tobago, pray for the children. Pray for your children. We recorded first triple homicide for the year already. They were teenage boys. We've had multiple.
That was the one in Chagonas.
I think so. Was it Chagonas?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I stopped.
No. It wasn't Chagonas. It wasn't Chagonas. It was Dabadi or something. So
I don't have it in mind for the constant bad news right now.
There was an event where 4 men held up a food delivery driver in Mayaro. 3 of the 4 men lost their lives in an exchange with officers of the law. What I'm saying is that we went from 27. Yeah, we went from 27 to 38 in terms of fatalities for the year in the space of maybe 3 days. We probably would have gone up by the time we air this. All I'm saying is that pray for your children, please. We are losing too many of our young men to the streets. We are losing too many of our young women to lost young men. Right? So, and not even lost young men, because some of the fellas who doing some of these, committing some of these atrocities is big hardback 40-something and 50-something-year-old men. So, I'm just saying, the work continues while you're partying, while you're liming, while you're making your money and seeing about your families. Physically, pray for your families, cover your families, try to lead and guide with some moral compass.
Be vigilant.
And stay vigilant. Although you do stay vigilant thing, it's kind of like it putting a responsibility on people to not be subject to other people's decision making, and that hard. All I'm saying is that let's try to make better choices and equip our citizenry to be a little less selfish now.
And also, as you're on that topic, Ricardo, I also want to add here that if, and I need to choose words very carefully with this statement, right? There are persons out there, as much as I jokingly talk about starting back dating and things like that, right? There are persons out there who are afraid to try because of past hate and trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I ask that if you are dealing with somebody like that in your dating situation or relationship, please be patient and be kind to them. Don't try to force onto them the expectation that, hey, we need to be doing this kind of thing now. Don't let social media pressure think that your relationship needs to look a certain type of way. Every relationship is unique and you need to treat it as such.
I respect that. I will also suggest that while we may not all be able to afford professional counseling and therapy, there's a lot that you could do with the information and the resources available to you to equip yourself with some mental and emotional healing opportunities. Right? You could fill your space with some more positive things. You could do some reading. You could take in a little article. You could practice some intentional wellness, some mindfulness. It doesn't always have to be distraction and escapism. You could dedicate a couple minutes a day to whether it's a meditation app or to listening to the type of conversation that could help you with your healing process. If you don't know where to start, well, listen, the internet has a lot more to offer than the latest series.
Hey, whoa.
Well, what people doing is streaming and figure, well, everything is everything.
But now, honestly, guys, there are also books you could get.
Oh, the couples activity book. Interesting. Nice. A man is well prepared for when the time comes.
I'm gonna say choose your words wisely then.
Me, I never dogs at the back. It's time to wrap up all kind of things.
To close off today, we have a song to close off. Ricardo had hung up on him one night when we was going up the highway for a job.
I want to apologize. I want to apologize to Mr. Jai. Listen, if I only knew it was Ricky Jai on the phone, well, one, I would have probably finished your credit because I was going to stop on small talk and long talk with you. So thank you for your contribution to the music and cultural landscape over the past, as far as I know, 3.5 or 4 decades. Thank you. Big up Ricky Jai. Sorry, I didn't hang up on him, Aaron. Yeah, asked me to tell him to call, that he'll call back. That's all it was. Just say.
So we're gonna end off today with Ricky Jai and KMC's song entitled Soca Viber. Right? As I always end, I say that this is your shitty DJ Aaron 868, and remember that culture is my code. I tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them, guys.
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the local stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe.
Up next is Mr. Desmond with the big band, and I'm going to be back on Friday. Yeah, I'm back on the air this Friday from 7 p.m.
Nice, man.
Friday night fete. Yeah.
Friday night fete.
I'll come into fete with friends.
Anyway, we can talk about that. Nice, man.
All right, man. Keep it locked.
We want to mash up and shake, we ride. What are we playing, man? What are we playing, man? So let we on this stage and fed like is we last. What are we playing, man? What are we playing?